Hi, I'm professional chef Gemma Stafford and welcome to my test kitchen. This is where my team and I have fun experimenting, geeking out and answering a lot of your baking questions. We have a brand new test for you this week and I'm really excited to share it. So Ami, come over and tell us what we're doing.
Hi, so today we're going to be testing egg substitutes. It's something that we mentioned on our last episode, and we looked down at your comments and saw that some of you are also interested in what we can use to substitute eggs in cake making.
So we have a variety of egg substitutes here. These are the ones that are most popular on the internet. We're going to try each to see what works best. Okay, Zach, come here to me. The first one we're going to talk about is applesauce.
Applesauce has a lot of pectin in it, so it's really great for binding the cake and giving it structure, as well as a lot of moisture, which will help the cake rise.
The great thing about applesauce, I find, is that I have a 3-year-old, so I always have applesauce. It's shelf stable and it's inexpensive. So, you know, when these things are accessible, it makes it easy. And then next we're going to add in our dry ingredients.
Okay, you ready for it?
Yeah.
I'll just do a little bit at a time. Get it all together.
Perfect. You can just dump the rest in on me. Okay. And this is just a standard pound cake. You can do the same for any cake recipe. Okay, lovely. One batter, one egg substitute ready.
All right, that looks good. I'll get that ready for the oven. And next we're gonna do bananas. Bananas have a lot of moisture content similar to eggs, which is gonna create steam and help the cake rise. Now you can really smell the banana, which makes me feel like this would be great if you want the flavor of banana in your cake. But if you really want a neutral cake, I wonder if it's gonna be a little too flavorful.
One of the reasons I like banana as a substitute is that it's inexpensive, and just like the applesauce, I always have them in my house.
Just like you do with a banana bread, if you've got overripe bananas, you just throw them in your freezer and then you always have a really great egg substitute anytime you want it. Okay, so next we're gonna try silken tofu. So I've taken this tofu and blended it. So when you take, it's a very soft form of tofu. Tofu has a nice creamy texture and similar to that of an egg. It's gonna add a lot of moisture, and I suspect that the protein in tofu is also gonna help bind the cake together and provide structure as it bakes.
I'm excited to see the results of this one. I do love silken tofu in one of my favorite restaurants here in LA. They have a lovely dish. I've never had it in a baked. Have you had it in a baked good?
No, I haven't, but I think it has a nice neutral flavor, unlike the applesauce and the banana, so I have high hopes for this one.
Yeah, the one thing about this is it's, you know, similar consistency to an egg. So it'll be interesting to see the results of this one.
All right, you ready for the dry?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go grab the pan for that. It looks like we're just about mixed.
Yeah, nice and creamy, right?
Look at how smooth that looks.
Isn't that kind of different?
Yeah, looks really, it already looks much nicer. The batter looks so smooth.
The thing about silken tofu, we did have to go to a few supermarkets to get it, so not as easily accessible.
Now, do you think firm tofu would work if you blended it?
That's a very good question. The answer is no. Do not do that.
Don't use a firm tofu.
No.
All right.
The just told us no. Okay, there you go.
That looks great. All right, so next we're gonna use yogurt. It's a full-fat yogurt, and yogurt, you probably know, is a pretty common ingredient in cake making. But this time around, we're gonna see what happens if we use a little more of it to replace any eggs that we would be using otherwise.
The one nice thing about yogurt is that it tenderizes the flour as you use it, so it makes a lovely softer cake. When yogurt is used to substitute egg, we use plain yogurt and not Greek, because Greek is thicker.
Yogurt's also going to add, I don't know if you mentioned this, Gemma, it also has a lot of moisture. As you can see, there's a theme of moisture. Eggs contribute a lot of moisture to any baked good. What happens is the moisture when you're baking the cake creates steam, and the steam allows the cake to rise, or anything you're baking to rise. So you really want, one of the main functions of egg is the moisture it adds. Well, that looks really nice too.
It does.
Look at that.
The nice thing about the yogurt is that it's not going to add any extra flavor.
Right.
And it will add moisture.
And also, if it does add any sort of a flavor, it's going to add a subtle tang, which will be delicious.
Yeah, it will be lovely. And just so you know, if you don't have yogurt, you can also substitute buttermilk, the same amount of buttermilk, and that works really well too.
Could you use sour cream?
Oh, of course you could use sour cream, yeah.
Or you could use sour cream.
That's a good one.
All right, that's done. And next,
Thank you very much. Next, we are going to substitute flax egg. Now, this is a really popular substitute for eggs. Actually, flax works for a lot of different baked goods. Not every substitute works in everything. Flax is great for cookies, brownies, cakes. You can put that in there, Ami.
and I want to talk a little bit about flax egg and how you make it. Now, you see how thick that is? This has been sitting around. I think I need a spatula. So to make a flax egg, you mix 1 tablespoon of ground flax meal with 2.5 tablespoons of water, and you let that sit. This has been sitting for about a half an hour, and that's what's given it a nice viscosity. It's really similar to an egg white.
The word of today is viscosity. Flax egg is also a fantastic substitute when needing an egg substitute for cookies. So I think, overall, this one is a really popular one. So let's see, compared to the others, how this fares. Also, FYI, flax are more expensive, a little bit more of a specialty item, and not every household has them.
All right, last but not least, we have condensed milk. This one I thought was a little interesting. Condensed milk is very thick and creamy, a lot of moisture, as you can see. It's a cooked down milk, but the thing that I wonder about is it also has a lot of sugar in it. So you would probably need to adjust the sugar of any recipe you would use condensed milk in as an egg substitute. Okay, so ready for the flour?
Just so you know, all these egg substitutes and their uses can be found on my website. I have an amazing chart there that is actually, did you know this? It's one of the most visited posts on my website.
Wow.
Is an egg substitute chart. Is that a humble brag? Is that what that's called?
All right, that looks done.
Okie dokie.
Well, that looks nice.
It looks nice and smooth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So here we have our 6 different tests. Stay tuned because we're going to get them into the oven, and then we're going to do a side-by-side comparison to see what's the best egg substitute for cakes. So all our pound cakes came out of the oven and they look dramatically different.
They really do. I'm pretty surprised.
So let's just do a quick run through. We're going to grade these and figure out what is the best egg substitute. The first thing we're going to grade it on is look. Ami, let's go down the line here. The fruit, apple and banana. What do you think these look like?
Well, they both browned pretty nicely. They kind of have a nice caramelly top.
It didn't rise much.
Yeah, that sank in the middle.
And it sank a little bit.
Yeah.
So they look okay.
I think the banana looks a little better than the apple.
It does, it does. That looks like a nice enough loaf. Apple sunk a little bit. Let's move down here. Silken tofu.
And silken tofu looks really nice. It has a nice dome top. It's a little pale, but that doesn't bother me with pound cake so much.
Yeah.
The yogurt, on the other hand, I'm surprised it sank in the middle.
It sank, it wrinkled lots, it didn't brown, and it just kind of like got a little bit hard and funky.
It collapsed a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it couldn't really, maybe the yogurt was a little too wet or something.
And I know you can't see this, but it's kind of like a little bit firmer than the other cakes. Now, let's talk about flax egg. Supposed to be one of the best egg substitutes, but check this out. It looks bizarre. It's so different to what a pound cake should look
It
like.
looks like it's a blondie or something.
It does.
It's very hard. It took a long time to bake. It was very wet. The dough, it took about, a half an hour longer than the rest of the pound cakes took. Yeah, very strange.
Yeah, and you can feel it had to bake that much longer. And then lastly, condensed milk.
I don't think this one's going to work at all. I mean, I'm not even sure, to be honest, it cooked in the inside because the outside started burning after almost 2 hours in the oven, and the inside never really fully finished baking.
Yeah. So now take a look at the one that we made with eggs, a proper pound cake, and look at the difference. It has popped up on top, it's domed, it has this lovely color all over.
Exactly what you want in a pound cake.
Okay, now let's get to the real meat of this, the inside. We're going to cut it all open and we're going to talk about flavor. So the second thing we're grading them on is texture. Let's talk applesauce. Very different, very dense, didn't bake, and this is supposed to bake an hour like all the other ones.
Looks so gummy. Look at that.
Gummy.
It's like, and the cake tester didn't show any crumbs, so it looked like it was going to be cooked all the way through, but and it sank.
And it sank. So banana, let's talk about banana.
So now banana actually looks really nice, which is, you can see it's still pretty moist down here. There's maybe it could have cooked off a little more. but the crumb is nice. It has a nice, dense, tight crumb. I have high hopes for this one.
Great. Silken tofu. Do you know what? Silken tofu, a little bit doughy down here, maybe too much moisture in the tofu, but actually not too bad. I have to say, this is not terrible. I would eat this. I wouldn't think that was raw cake. I would eat it. Okay, dokie, yogurt.
Yeah, so this was a surprise because I know yogurt is used in baking, especially in cakes, all the time, but look at how wet it is on the inside.
Yeah, the yogurt gave results of a very wet pound cake. Obviously, too much moisture. Straight off the bat, that just does not seem to work.
Right, and you can tell with all the moisture, it collapsed, and I think that's one of the reasons why it sank. It was too much for the structure of the cake.
Yeah. Next, flax egg. This is very surprising. So it cooked all the way through. It did. So it's not doughy, it's moist, but it is a little bit very crispy because it stayed in the oven for longer. So it's all crispy around the outside. So not a soft, fluffy pound cake that we're used to.
And then finally, our condensed milk cake, which is, I mean, first of all, it took a very long time to cook. And then when we finally decided to pull it out of the oven because the outside was burning, we cut it open and it is very gummy and dense looking. It's, you know, not even, I don't know if I'd consider this a cake.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Okay, that's our texture. The last test we're going to do is we're going to grade them on taste. So let's do a quick taste of each one. Okay, applesauce. Flavor's good. Not appley.
I think it actually tastes pretty appley to me.
Does it?
So it tastes underdone.
You ate the raw bit.
No, I mean, it tastes, it's gummy. It's a little gummy tasting. It has an apple flavor, but it's actually nice. I don't mind the apple flavor, but if you want a neutral flavor, you're not gonna get it.
Apple so-so.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-so.
let's do a little bit of banana bread. Okay. Soft. Crispy on the outside.
It tastes like banana bread though. It's delicious.
Good.
It's really good.
Good. So far, I think banana bread
it's really sweet.
is in the lead.
I would put, if you were to do banana substitute, I would pull back a little bit on the sugar. I think it's a little sweet.
It is sweet. Silken tofu. Same like pound cake flavor, soft texture.
It's very soft. It's very tender.
Very tender. Which
It's
is not a
almost-
bad thing.
I think it's almost too tender.
No, on me.
It's almost too tender. I want a little more structure to the cake. I can almost taste the tofu, but it's subtle. I think if you had whipped cream and fruit, you wouldn't so much.
You can taste this one.
Come on, Gemma.
Then you can tell me how. I'm gonna taste a little bit over here. This is yogurt. I think we already can move on from this one.
No,
It's raw dough.
tastes the best. I mean, flavor-wise. No, texture is all wrong. However, it tastes most like pound cake. I'm just saying.
I disagree with that.
Well,
Flax egg. Okay, this will be interesting.
it does have a nice neutral taste, but a weird texture because it's very fluffy on the inside, but then very crunchy on the edges.
Not the normal characteristics of a pound cake. Condensed milk. Do you know what? I'm gonna give us a pass here.
Really?
We don't need to taste this. It's obviously way too sweet. This was just a no-go. You can taste it if you want.
Oh no, I'm gonna try it. I don't know. It's not pound cake. I'd say it's closer to blondie. So maybe if you want to make a blondie with condensed milk, you might try it, but you might want to pull back on the sugar, but it actually gives a real caramel flavor, which is nice, kind of like a dulce de leche.
Okay, not pound cake. Out of these 6, tell me what is, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. What is your success story here?
I want to say somewhere between the tofu and the banana. The tofu was a little too tender for me. I like the banana, but it tastes like banana. It doesn't taste like pound cake. So okay, then I'm going to say tofu.
So tofu, what's the least one?
The condensed milk.
Okay, I would say I agree with you. I'm going to say banana bread.
Yeah.
Pound cake, banana bread, pound cake.
Yeah.
And obviously the condensed milk is just, you're just terrible.
Yeah, did not work.
So that's it. So our expert opinion says if you want to substitute eggs in pound cake or any type of cake, silken tofu, mashed banana, have at it. You should get pretty good results. So that was our experiment to see what egg substitutes work best in pound cake. We really hope you guys enjoyed it. I learned a lot.
I certainly did too.
Let us know in the comments below what other crazy baking experiments you'd like to see come out of our test kitchen, and we'll see you back here again really soon.
See ya.
Bye-bye. I'm going to have more banana bread.
I think I will, I don't know, maybe the apple.